In today's tour of Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex built in Minecraft, we're going to be taking a look at Monty Golf. With over 16 miniature golf courses to play on and even more sites to look at, this attraction has made a name for itself to be one of the fan favorites of the Mega Pizzaplex. If you enjoyed the tour, then make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe, as not only is it free, but it helps support me make more of this type of content on the channel. But with all that out of the way, let's begin with today's video. Let's begin in the sub-lobby to Monty Golf itself, as there's still a feature that I want to show off before we end up in the golf course itself, and that is being the elevator. Every single door and elevator in the Mega Pizzaplex works, so if we go ahead and walk up to this door, you will see that it opens up and we are now in the elevator itself. Now if we want to go ahead and go to the golf course, we go ahead and click this button, the door is going to close behind us and we get the iconic elevator music that plays in Security Breach. So go ahead and be quiet and let that play out. And then the music stops, the doors open up, and now we get to walk onto this center balcony here and take a look at the entire Monty Golf attraction, from the golf course down below to the catwalks that are hanging on the ceiling up above. Now just this balcony alone has a lot going on already, as benches and miniature concession stands are littered all over this side of the balcony here. We even have ourselves a functional saving station here, so if we go ahead and click this button and then go ahead and kill ourselves and respawn, we're gonna respawn right in front of the save station, just like how they work in Security Breach. I wanted to make sure that this map was as accurate to the game as possible. Of course, we have a smaller version of the Monty Golf Course logo down here on the floor of the balcony. We're gonna go ahead and move on past the escalators that would bring us down to the lower levels of the golf course, but we're going to check out this small little gift shop here, and you can see that I've used a few custom player heads just to make this place feel a little bit more immersive to the Security Breach experience. So I've used a few custom player heads to represent different plushies of the animatronic characters of the Pizzaplex. Now as we move along the balcony, we finally come across the first golf course itself. Now this one is really simple. It's just a simple diagonal course that stretches across this area here. However, the further we get into the golf course, the more interesting these courses are going to appear, such as this one right here, which is underneath this withered wooden shack here. You can see that it goes through the shack underneath this little crossbeam here, and the hole is of course on the other side over here. So you try to get the goal from starting over there and get the golf course all the way over here. Just outside of this little shack here, we have this small little corner with a few pieces of decoration littered around. We have this small palm tree that's sitting in the center of this corner. We have some barrels, and we have a massive log here which leans all the way down into the ball pit below. Behind us is another Monty pixel art, a little photo booth where people can go ahead and take pictures of themselves or hide from the animatronics, and some benches next to them just in case people are taking far too long to score their goals in golf. We all have that one friend or family member who is absolutely horrible at golf no matter how hard they try. Now if you can't think of anyone in your family who is bad at golf, you might want to start looking at yourself. Moving on to the next golf course, this one is in another shack, however this time it's a little less withered than the one we just passed by, but this golf course has a little loop-de-loop in the middle just to make it a little bit more interesting. Just like in this corner here, this one loops around this tree and barrels, so it does get really difficult when you're trying to go ahead and make something at this scale here. However, I'm really happy with the way that I made all of these golf holes. Using these dark prismarine slabs really makes it look like how it does in game, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. Of course, there are so many trees littered all over the place that really make this place give off the swamp feeling, such as this little piece of decoration here. There's a little boat right here in front of this little pond here, where a few stone walls have been placed to represent the alligators that'll occasionally pop out of the water to try to jump scare the player here. This place really does come together in a really good way to really make it feel like you're in this swamp environment. As we go ahead and walk on down the staircase and exit the balcony, we now make ourselves in front of the main show stage itself, where Monty would be performing on this humongous stage. Let's go ahead and continue on past some more golf holes as we travel underneath this balcony here, where lots of vines are hanging from the ceiling. I really loved building Monty Golf just because of how different it is from the other attractions of the Pizzaplex. Instead of being bright and colorful decorations all over the place, this place feels a lot more natural with all the stone walls and vegetation that is lying all over this room. Let's make our way down this little path here, and now we're going to end up in in a little room underneath the center balcony here, where we have another golf course sitting right here in the corner, and some cardboard cutouts of Montgomery Gator, just a small little pixel art to represent Monty in his golf attire. Now we're going to go ahead and walk on down this hallway, and this is a small bathroom hallway. So behind each one of these doors is the different bathroom. So if we go ahead and walk up to this door, we are now in the Montgomery Gator themed bathroom, most likely for the boys who are playing Monty Golf. And if we go ahead and walk back out and go through the other door, we're going to find ourselves in the Glamrock Chica bathroom, this one probably being the women's bathroom. And if we go ahead and walk through this door, it's going to lead us down this small hallway here, where at the end of the hallway there is a little Freddy recharge station, which is just conveniently placed here just in case you need to recharge Freddy. Now at the other end of this small corridor, we have this little walkway here, which is actually one of the entrances or exits to Monty Golf. You can see that this is the staircase we saw at the very beginning when we were on the front balcony here. You can go ahead and walk up and down this staircase, so that way you can either go to the bathrooms to the left, or you can take this bridge and go to the Monty Golf over to the right. So let's go ahead and go across this bridge and take a look at some other things that are going on here. Let me take out my Minecraft flashlight just so we can see a little bit better, as Monty Golf does get rather dark in this environment here. But you can see all of the vegetation that is being scattered around here. However, there is something that is standing out, and that is this arcade machine here, which is Monty's Mini Golf, which is an actual playable arcade minigame in this Minecraft map. If you're curious on how this works, I'll leave an iCard up on screen now, where you can go ahead and check out the building process and a full playthrough of said minigame. Behind this arcade machine is the ball pit that I was talking about earlier, which of course we can go ahead and explore in this little area here. And there's a shack up here on this center island, so if we go ahead and walk up this little staircase, there's just a small little shack here. I'm not entirely sure what you can do in here. This is just a small little hiding spot or little play area where kids can go ahead and hang out in case they get bored playing golf. And just behind here, there's a little patio right here that is suspended above the rest of the golf course. Now let's continue on over this bridge and head back to the main stage, except this time we're going to take a right turn and take a look at this little cafeteria area, where there's a few tables and chairs scattered around just so that people can take a little snack break in case they get hungry while playing Monty Golf. There is a little snack bar that is conveniently placed in this corner here. So here there's a little snack bar where there's a kitchen behind it where the staff would be able to cook meals for the people that are waiting nearby. So past this vending machine here is a door which we can go ahead and walk through, and we can now enter the small little kitchen here. There's not too much going on. It's just your generic kitchen materials. So there's a few storage items, a few ovens, some sinks. Of course, we have the cash register, a small TV screen right here, which I made using a custom player head. And over in this corner here is another doorway, which leads to the back hallway, which eventually leads to the security office, which we will get to in a moment. So continuing on down this path, we now have a little camper trailer right here, which is another one of the interesting golf courses here. So this time the golf course goes through the camper itself. So you start at one end, it goes through this little camper here, and you're able to score a goal in the other side over here. Really interesting the way that this all turned out. I really like how there's different types of decorations littered all over the place, just so that it's not another generic boring mini golf. Now if we go ahead and pass this small golf course here, we find ourselves a different piece of decoration, as here on the wall we can see that there is a hazardous material sign and a few barrels littered around this corner of the Monty Golf place. Not entirely sure why this is here. It's very different from the rest of the decorations around Monty Golf. As we move on down this path, underneath this giant pipe here, which is flowing water into this small little pond in this gated off area, we're going to continue on and find ourselves some more golf courses, some staff doors which lead to the staff hallway that is behind Monty Golf, another one of these photo stations where people can take pictures with their friends. But as we move on down, we're going to find ourselves probably one of the more interesting pieces of decoration in Monty Golf, and that is of course the giant alligator head that is sat here next to the entrance. This thing was really interesting to make, as it is very different from anything else in the Pizzaplex. However, I do think that I got the point across really well, and I'm very happy with the way that this alligator head turned out. Let's go ahead and check out this part of the area right here, where we have a small little gated off pond. There's not too much going on in here. However, the pipe flows the water that goes into this pond, and then all of these streams branch out throughout the entirety of the golf course. It makes it a lot more interesting than the other attractions of the Pizzaplex. Let's go ahead and travel through the Monty head itself. So if we go ahead and walk on through, we're gonna find ourselves the inside of what an alligator would look like. You can see that there's a few fish bones littered all over the place, and a rib cage that is hung along the ceiling here. There are a few other pieces of decoration, like a few more cutouts, and of course some more golf courses where you'd be able to continue your game. At this side of the room over here is the hallway that leads to the different bathrooms that we checked out not that long ago. However, if we head along to the other side, we're going to end up in somewhere completely different where the contrast changes completely, as here we are in the behind the scenes of Monty Golf itself. You can see that all of the colors have now turned into grayscale, as there is a lot of equipment around, like these pipes lining along the ceiling, some fire extinguishers, some server racks, some TV monitors, to make sure that everything in Monty Golf is working as it should be. This is the behind the scenes that no customer is supposed to be visiting. On the other side of this room is another doorway which leads to the staff hallway that stretches throughout the entirety of the back end of the Monty Golf attraction. There's a little stave station here which does the exact same thing as the one I showed at the beginning. However, here is the doorways that lead to the security office for Monty Golf itself. So here we are in the smaller security office. You can see that there's some lockers hanging on the wall, some boxes, some other pieces of decoration such as this Monty pixel art on the wall. But here is the main security office itself, where there's a few things going on. Of course, we have the main monitor setup with a small little TV screen and a bigger TV screen hung up on this wall. There's some banners to represent different cutouts of Monty Golf. However, the main functionality of the office is the doors themselves. So if we go ahead and click this button, you can see that the security door is going to close, and if we click the button again, the security door is going to open back up, just in case you want to close yourself off or if you're getting chased by any animatronics. And now if we continue on down this part of the hallway here and take a turn to the right, we're going to find ourselves down this continuing corridor with this door at the end of the hallway that leads us back to the kitchen area that we checked out not that long ago, and we can go ahead and exit back out to the main attraction of Monty Golf itself. And that is everything of the main attraction of Monty Golf. However, there's still one more thing we need to check out, and that is of course the catwalks that are hanging above the ceiling. However, to get there, we're going to need to visit another attraction of the Pizzaplex, so let's go ahead and check out Mazercise. So we're currently on the top right balcony of the atrium here, and behind us is Mazercise itself. So let's go ahead and walk on in. I think it's appropriate to show off both attractions of the Pizzaplex in the same video, as the two are connected to each other. So let's go ahead and check out Mazercise here. So here we have ourselves a little cash register where people would be able to check in, so that way they can go ahead and get started exercising on this small little pad here. There's a main stage up top where Glamrock Chico would most likely be performing exercise moves for everyone to follow. There's a few TV screens up on the wall advertising different foods and attractions of the Pizzaplex, and over here in the corner is a little snack bar with a few vending machines and a Freddy Fizzy Faz dispenser. However, let's go ahead and go behind the scenes and go ahead and enter to the maze part of Mazercise. So let's go ahead and walk on through, and we're now in this back hallway of Mazercise, where we of course have the entrance to Mazercise itself. So let's just go ahead and head on in, and as we can see, my luck is that we are boarded off right now. Let's try and go ahead and enter in through the other side, and this side is a bit more open, so we can see if we can try to get to the vent that is on the other side of the maze, so that way we can crawl through the vent and enter Monty Golf. And from the looks of it, we might just be able to get to the vent. However, we might be closed off. Yeah, you can see that the vent lid is right here. However, the vent itself is behind these cardboard cutouts. Just like everything else in the Pizzaplex, however, I was sure to make this fully functional. So let's go ahead and enter in the control room and check out all of these buttons here, which actually change the combination of the maze. So you saw what we had right there was a certain pattern. If we go ahead and click this button, we can find out that the pattern has now changed, and this entrance is now open, and there's a different maze combination now. So if we go ahead and hit another button, we should find ourselves a different combination. So let's go ahead and select this one right here. Why not? Let's see if the combination has changed, and yep, you can see that this time it is completely boarded off. Now, I'm not going to show you what button is the one that takes you all the way to the vent. However, if you do select the right button, you can see that the vent entrance is now open, and we are now able to crawl in through this small vent system that takes us to the very top of Monty Golf, where we can now access the Monty Golf catwalks that are hanging above the attraction itself. You can see there's a small little turret here that you would use to fire upon those two banners to start the Monty Golf boss fight, but we're just going to go ahead and jump on down ourselves to the main catwalks themselves. These were really fun and interesting to make, as once again, Monty Golf is very different from the other attractions of the Pizzaplex. Like, you can see these things that are actually supporting the catwalks themselves. Personally, I would not enjoy it if I was having to run around up here, as I am incredibly afraid of heights and do not like the fact that just these things are hanging from the ceiling that are supporting these catwalks here. But you can see that I made sure that everything is just how it is in Security Breach. This is the exact same layout as the Monty Golf boss fight that you can find in game. So we'll just go ahead and run around a bit. However, if we make it all the way to the front part of the catwalks over here in front of the stage, we're going to find ourselves the Hurricane Hole-in-One splash bucket that you would use to tip on top of Monty right here and end the boss fight. Now, while the boss fight is not functional in this map, if you go ahead and click this button here, we're going to get teleported down to the main stage itself, where we can now access everything that is going on here, such as these 4 giant speakers that are on the floor here, and even more that are hanging on the wall. Speaking of the wall, I finally decided to change the pattern of the wall color, as it was originally just a solid green color. However, going back and redoing this map, I did realize that I needed to make this wall a bit more full of vegetation, so I went ahead and added in some different shades of green and some red blocks just to represent different types of vegetation. However, if we now want to get off the Monty Golf stage, we could jump over this fence. However, the proper way to exit would be to go through this vent system here. If we head on down here, and it's going to take us all the way back to the kitchen. You saw that there was a small opening in the kitchen, and this vent system is what this leads to. So now we can go ahead and walk on out and enter back into the Monty Golf attraction to continue doing whatever we would like. I know I say this in almost every video, but Monty Golf was one of my favorite attractions of the Mega Pizzaplex to make, just because of how different it was than the other attractions. As there is so much vegetation going on, it was such a big contrast from the modern day designs that you see littered around the Pizzaplex. Having this almost outdoor design of Monty Golf made it really interesting to make, and one of my personal favorite attractions of the Mega Pizzaplex to build in Minecraft. With all that being said, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this tour of Monty Golf, as I really enjoyed showing this place off to all of you guys. If you did enjoy this video, then make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel with notifications on, so that way you don't miss out on my next video, where we're going to be checking out the Super Starcade. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will of course see you in my next video.